What's up, everybody? It's Astrid Field here. Okay, so I completed the Powerless series, both Powerful and Fearful included. Those took me longer to finish, but I'm done with them. And I literally, if I had to ask Lauren Roberts one question, it would be, and Fearless spoilers if you haven't read it yet. But if I had to ask Lauren Roberts one question, it would probably be who is Kai's biological father? Because I really, really want to know. And I've got my own theories about this. And obviously this is just a fan theory, so please do not mistake this as me being, confirming this, because it's definitely not confirmed. But I have a feeling. And again, it's just a theory, okay? This is not canon, not canon, so don't come after me. But, so again, Fearless spoilers. But in Fearless, at the end of the book, after after Kit and Peyton get married, and oh man, I pray for whoever reads that family tree. But anyway, they find out that they're half siblings. Yay! So great. So basically, what's going on is, in Reckless, Peyton finds out that Adam Gray is not her biological father and that she was basically adopted by him. And then when we get to Fearless, we learn that Callum, who was this resistance leader and everything, he is actually Peyton's biological father, and her biological mother was Queen Iris Moira, who was the queen before Kai's mom. And so Kai and my days, what the heck? Kit and Peyton have the same biological mother. And for any of you who have not read Powerless, do not worry, okay? Peyton and Kit do not stay married. I know that would be a little bit of an incest. They don't stay married, just FYI, because something happens to Kit. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track. But so after they uncover all of these secrets and everything, Kai's kind of thinking wait a second, I'm a year older than Peyton, but Iris Moira was still the queen when Peyton was born because she died giving birth to Peyton. But since I'm a year older than her, then that means I have had to be alive for a year. So then he's like, so wait a second, who's my real dad and stuff. And we also get some chapters from Kai Azer's perspective in Fearless. So we know that basically after Peyton was born, when Edric learned she was ordinary, he sent her off, and so Callum took her and she went to live with Adam Gray when she was a baby and stuff. And then the Imperials were telling Kai Azer, they're yeah, they've already think that the queen who died in childbirth giving birth to Kit, so it would make sense to just go marry another person. So then Edric meets Kai's mom, and Kai's mom already has Kai, and she's basically holding little baby Kai, and Edric Azer's oh, so what's Kai's power? And his mother tells Edric that Kai is a wielder. So since Edric is very power hungry and learns how powerful he is, he's okay, yeah, I'll take him as my son. And then Kai learns, he's oh my gosh, wait, so I was Kit's stepbrother, we weren't actually siblings, and Edric Azer wasn't actually my real dad. So then he goes to talk to his mom, and he's so who's my real dad, Mom? But she won't tell him. She won't tell him who his real dad is. She's just oh, don't worry about it. So I'm kind of thinking it's just some random dude she happened to sleep with, and I've got my own theories about that, so here we go. Okay, so what I think happened is that Kai's real dad, was not necessarily in a relationship with his mom, and that it was kind of just a one-night stand, sleeping around situation, is what I'm thinking, because, honestly, if you're giving this universe, that just makes sense. But then after I read Powerful, I was thinking more, and we know that, Makoto Kitan, I think that's how you pronounce his name. We're just gonna go with that, yeah. we know that Mac is a wielder like Kai. And since Kai and Kit aren't technically blood related, there's no evidence that siblings like don't share the same ability. I mean, I guess there is Ava. So yeah, I guess there's that. But so I'm thinking we know that Mac's a wielder and we know that Kai's a wielder. And they look pretty similar. I mean, like Mac has like is super like muscularly built like Kai, and they both have like black hair and they're both like really tall. But then as I was reading on in Powerful, I'm thinking, because like when Mac tells Adina like more about his story, he tells her how his dad became like a drunk and was often an alcoholic and stuff like that, and how he wasn't supposed to happen, they weren't supposed to have kids and stuff. So then I'm thinking, we don't actually, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think they know how old Mac actually is. So I'm kind of thinking here, what if Mac's dad is also Kai's dad? But Mac's dad doesn't remember it because he was drunk and it was a one-night stand situation, and then Kai's mom got pregnant and had Kai. And then, yeah, end of story right there. And then maybe later on, Mac's dad, like, never told his parents, or I don't really know how, when Mac's parents got married or anything. But if you're thinking about it, I mean, like, Mac and Kai have a lot of similarities. So it makes sense. And so, yeah, I mean, that's just my own theory here, but I'm kind of thinking. And honestly, I would love it if I could email Lauren Roberts and ask her about this, because I really want to know. I'm thinking that Mac and Kai are actually siblings and that they have the same dad. So, yeah. But anyway, that's that. Hope you guys enjoy.